helping you to weather good and bad economies without putting retirement on hold. This is the Tumolo Financial Podcast with Ken and Nick Tumolo. Ken and his son Nick know that creating a comprehensive financial plan can align your hard-earned life savings with your retirement goals. Consider them your retirement architects. Now, the Tumolo Financial Podcast with Ken and Nick Tumolo.
All right, something else that some people don't factor into, simply because they don't know to expect it, is the idea of coming into some money, coming into some wealth for one reason or another. A lot of people might think of parents or grandparents, but sometimes you might have a sibling that passes on if they don't have children, and you'll just come into wealth. A 58-year-old man was recently writing into an advice column on Kiplinger.com saying that he unexpectedly inherited $650,000, and he wanted to know if that changed his retirement timeline. What would you guys say to him or to anybody who suddenly and perhaps unexpectedly came into some wealth? And also, what factors should be considered?
Yeah, and a sizable portion, like what that person got, $650,000, it's probably going to change the retirement timeline.
I would have to think so. That's more than some people have even saved altogether on their own. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. The one caveat I do want to point out before I even go through this question,
okay,
make sure that you have the inheritance already. Tumolo Financial, we will not count the inheritance if your mother's in a nursing home, because the problem is, especially in Connecticut, everything's fair game here.
Yeah.
And nursing home costs on average $15,000 a month here.
Okay.
So unfortunately, some people end up in nursing home for 2, 3, 4 years. You think 3 years, that's over $500,000. Now you're not getting that $650 now.
Right.
And that $650 might be $100,000.
Okay.
So I do not like to count it until after the fact. Until we know
what's the old expression? Don't count your chickens before the eggs have hatched.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. There are situations sometimes you can count it. I still don't like to until they actually possess it in their hands, like an irrevocable trust protects from a nursing home after 5 years. So there are some situations, but I want to make sure that the money is yours and it is protected.
Yeah.
But yeah, how I kind of handle it, it's kind of the same thing as what we usually do. It's just filling out that plan, knowing, okay, where's that inheritance coming from? Is it coming from a trust? Is it coming from retirement accounts? Where is it coming from? Because it has different tax ramifications. Now with the new beneficiary IRA rules too, you have to, if you're a non-spousal beneficiary, you have to take that money out within 10 years. So if you're getting money from your mom or dad in an IRA, you have to take it out within 10 years now too. So it really does matter where the money is coming from too. And okay, what's your time frame to retire? Yeah, could we possibly move it up? 650,000, like we said. Yeah, you're probably going to move it up, probably a couple years. But how does it work in the plan? Does it mess up? Even if you do retire, like this person, like you said, I think you said he was in his late 50s.
Mm-hmm.
In Connecticut, you can't, or actually in the country, you can't start Medicare until 65.
Right.
Do you have health care? Does that factor in too? Because healthcare, Access Health in Connecticut has premiums as well as based off of income. So if you're taking money from an IRA, it's going to boost up your income. So you got to think of all these things when you're looking at these things. That's why building out that plan is the biggest thing. So how does inheritance factor into all my retirement savings? Where's the advantages? Because not just, okay, when can I retire? But okay, can we save on taxes? Can we do the things that we wanted to? Or maybe because you did get a sizable portion, there might be an additional thing that was a want that now you can make it more of a, maybe not a need, but things that we can definitely put ahead and say this is priority number one to do. Where, okay, maybe I want a second house in South Carolina, Charleston, or Florida, something like that. So that's where kind of you start thinking about, okay, do we want to add additional goals or do we want to lower the time frame and say I want to retire sooner? And that's where you got to think of, okay, what is my goal? Do I want to retire at 62? Do I want to buy that house and still be fine retiring at 65? And that's where that Tumolo retirement checkup comes in. Mm-hmm. And I know everyone does change their plans. I have adjusted plans for my clients as well. We do 6-month reviews. Yeah. So that Tumolo retirement checkup, that's where you build out those advantages, disadvantages for you can see where disadvantages pop up. So that we do that, build that out complimentary. Our phone number is 860-854-3434, or you can go to our website at tfcheckup.com.
Yeah, a big thing, and hopefully everyone got this from listening to Nick, seek advice. And especially because sometimes it's an amount of money you're just not used to getting.
Mm-hmm.
And also sometimes someone inherits a large amount of money and they haven't saved themselves either. So they really aren't sure of, okay, well, what should I be doing investment wise?
Yeah.
And so years ago, I had this guy come in and visit it with me, and he had inherited, and it was close to, it's like $500-something thousand. So it's been a long time. But he had come in and visited, and he was basically, hey, I'm getting an inheritance from my parents. Both of them have passed away now. And, what should I do? And it was all in the form of IRA, 401k type money. So it's retirement money.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the big firms was handling it. It was all going to go into an inherited IRA for him, which was the proper place for it to go. They were telling him the right thing to do. And when he came in, I was like, okay, well, the big thing is once you start to, because he was already talking, I'm going to retire early. I'm going to buy this. I'm going to buy that. It's like he had these big plans. And I'm like, well, before you do all that, once everything gets settled, come in and see me and let's talk about things, because you have to remember you're going to have taxes too when you draw from these accounts. So he canceled his next meeting with me. He didn't come in. And and so didn't hear from him. He
didn't like the reality dose you were giving him, Ken. Yeah.
No, but a year later, he called me up and came in.
Okay.
And basically, the story changed. What ended up happening was it was a time when it was all money that was in an IRA. And what he had done was he pulled all of the money out. And the advisor at the other place didn't have him withhold any taxes, because back then we weren't required to withhold Connecticut. We weren't required to withhold federal on an IRA draw. Okay. You know where I'm going.
Yeah.
So
oh, no.
Pulled it all out, bought a house, bought a boat, had nothing left other than about $10,000. And he goes, Ken, I met with you a year ago. I apologize. I didn't listen to you, but I really need help now. And he's telling me the story of there's nothing left. And he's like, I got to pay taxes and no one told me this. And I was like, well, that's why I told you had to come back and see me.
Yeah.
And that other advisor probably should have gave you a little direction, but they didn't. So long story short, what we ended up doing is I sent him to see one of the accountants that I know.
Yeah.
And after that, I don't know what happened to the story, because there was really nothing I could do for him.
Well, he had no money. I mean, like, that's the thing that we'll talk about if you save $500,000 or more. It's like, Ken and Nick, what you guys do is you help people figure out what to do with their nest eggs. If you don't have any savings, the work that you guys do, it doesn't apply to somebody that doesn't have any savings.
No, and there's nothing I can do. I couldn't, basically, I think his only option was, go pull some equity out of the house and pay the taxes.
Yeah.
But he was in a hole. He even quit his job. So, I mean, it was really, did not listen, just saw green, all of the money coming in, and went out and went crazy. So yeah, it's really it's stressing. I can't stress it any more than this, is seek advice. The question, if you inherit money, question, hey, are there taxes on this? Because certain accounts have taxes. And just make sure things are drawn out. I mean, it's you don't want a mistake like that. And this has happened more times than not. We've even had people come in and they're like, oh yeah, I retired and I bought a boat. And I'm like, but you've never owned a boat. And so I had and this is a guy that I know. It's not not a client story, just a friend. And he got an inheritance, bought a boat, didn't know what to do with the boat, couldn't even park it in the slip. Within a year and a half, got rid of the boat and just lost money on it. But he inherited money and just took the money and bought it. It's so we always hear it. Clients, they'll save. And then there's a little story out there, and it's not every kid, but basically, if you don't spend your retirement money, your kids will. Nick keeps telling me.
And I tell my dad and mom the same thing. I don't want $1 from them. I want them to enjoy and do what they're supposed to do. If there's a couple dollars left at the end, then great. So be it. But I want them to enjoy it.
That's right. My husband and I, we have successful careers. You guys took care of us the first 18 to 22 years of our lives. And maybe this is a good point. People, men and women of Connecticut, you've done your due diligence taking care of your kids. It's not your responsibility to take care of them as adults. They need to take care of themselves.
Yeah. And some will need help. And as parents, I know parents always want to help their kids.
Right. They
but
do.
You kind of got to balance it. You got to balance, it's your retirement. And the thing is if you spend your retirement money, then you really aren't going to be retired other than worrying. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not doing the fun stuff, staying home because you spent your retirement money on the kids. So yeah, it's about you at that time.
And that's another good point to make, because obviously as families, that's what families do. We take care of each other. So if you're in a situation where you do have a kid or a grandkid, especially, there are a lot of families with special needs kids, that has to be part of the plan. A legacy plan has to be part of the plan. And having a plan in place is what can give you the confidence to know, all right, this is what I can do for my kids and grandkids. This is what I've got for me. That's another very important part of the planning process. This is not.
Oh, yeah. It's making sure you're doing what you want to do, and then you can help too. So,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Again, it always starts with the Tumolo Financial Retirement Checkup, 860-854-3434, or our website, tfcheckup.com.
Inheritance, the idea of it seems great. It seems like an awesome opportunity and situation, but for so many people, it can actually create a lot of challenges. So if you are expecting an inheritance, if you've received inheritance, if you want to plan out a legacy for how to plan for your kids and grandkids, this all goes into the process of a Tumolo Financial Retirement Checkup. If you've got questions about inheriting or giving, let's get to work helping you get some answers. 860-854-3434. Again, is that number you're dialing. You can also go to tfcheckup.com. Reserve a spot for yourself on the calendar to meet with Ken and Nick and begin the conversation about your Tumolo Financial Retirement Checkup. 860-854-3434. That's 860-854-3434.
Investment advice offered through Tumolo Wealth Management, a Connecticut-registered investment advisor. Content contained herein should not be construed as an offer or solicitation for investment advice or for the purchase or sale of any security, insurance, or other investment product. Please consult with a qualified financial, tax, accounting, or legal professional before implementing any ideas or strategies discussed here.